you'll be, I guess, you'll learn why we're leading the state in workforce development ideas, and it started. Actually, it started in a meeting. See, I was elected I took office as mayor in September of 2010. So it was probably either October or November of 2010. Jack Fishman, who is the chairman of the City Industrial Board, we were at a meeting and we had just heard, I guess, a concern from some of our economic development team members who had been visiting with employers in the area about the constant complaint, or complaint, that's what it was, that you can't find enough qualified people to work. And so he looked at me and he said, "Brittain, that's your job." So it was to take on that challenge, because we've done a great job as a community. And the more that I work in the economic development area here in Morristown, the more I have admiration for those who have come generations before me to have the vision for our community, who started the first publicly owned industrial park in the 1960s. And now we have 3 industrial parks, 2 of them full and 1 getting that way. And there's a lot of communities that don't have those advantages, and we'll talk about that later. And so in 2010, 2011, I went on a year pretty much of just learning what I can or what I could about workforce development. What does that mean? What does workforce development mean? What does the skills gap mean? When you hear that word, what does that mean? How do other states do workforce development? We have TCATs, which is your vocational education, and you have your community colleges, where in some states they're together. In Tennessee they're not. You know why? And then just what are employers looking for? What are the skill sets they're looking for? And so then in 2012, in December of 2012, we had held a mayor's forum at Rose Center, and in the room we've got educators, employers, elected officials, trainers, secondary education folks, higher education folks, all in the same room, and we spent pretty much 6 hours talking about this issue. And out of that meeting in 2012 came a list of to-dos, and this externship program was one of them. And I guess the comment made during that discussion was, we need to train the trainers, and you guys are the trainers. And so we formed our workforce partnership, which includes the school system, the city, the county, Douglas, Cherokee, employer representation, TCAT, Walter State, WIOA, which is your workforce investment folks, which are your career center folks. So we have a partnership going on, and then in the summer of 2013, we hired Casey Alvarado as our first coordinator, and because we needed some boots on the ground to do to implement the ideas that we came up with. So between then and 2013 and now, I think you've seen a shift. The big things that have happened in this area is that education and employers are communicating. They're talking, they're exchanging respectfully, which wasn't always the case, and they're listening to each other. As someone who's not in either group, I mean, I can say that from watching it happen. Is there's communication going on, and the first time I saw that happen was in a meeting down in the Heritage Room, and that's what it's called, in the central office. And we had 16 employers in the room, and it was part of a fact-finding mission on a grant that we were applying for, and you heard directly from the mouths of the employers what they wanted. And really what they wanted was folks who'll show up on time and can pass a drug test. We'll teach them the rest of it. you know. So that's those are soft skills, which you'll learn. You'll hear a lot of that term as well. But just a couple of game changers that happened over the last 5 years is, if you've heard anything about the LEAP grants, there were two $1 million LEAP grants that TCAT received. I guess they were the administrator of it, but it was a partnership. Those funds, the first time was the $1 million spread over 3 counties. Bought a lot of equipment that is now in the programs over West High School. Also at TCAT as well. When you tour there, you'll see some of the equipment that was purchased through the LEAP grant. And then that was when the work ethic diploma was birthed and created, was during that LEAP grant process. And then the second LEAP grant came a couple of years later, and another $1 million, some more equipment, basically measuring type equipment used in vocational classes. Also internships, which the work-based learning is our internships, I think, Chuck, you correct me if I'm wrong, if they grew from 4 when we first started to about 36 this past summer.
Yeah, 43.
43. So from 4 to 50, let's say, in that 5-year period, because the focus is now you don't have to go to college to get a 4-year degree to get a good job. There's other ways of doing it, and so we as a community, with your all's help and buy-in, and you guys buying into this next 3 months and previous externship classes, we're leading a lot of Tennessee in this kind of thing, and you should be very proud that you've chosen to participate.